Tested. Hi, I'm Will from Tested.
I'm Norm from Tested.
Norm, today we are here for this.
It's the Amazon
sideways
Kindle Fire.
Yeah, it's out now. It came out yesterday or today, depending on where you had it shipped. It's in Best Buy everywhere. It's $200. It's a dual-core ARM, Android-based, but with a custom, Amazon skin on top of it. Tablet.
It looks a lot like this.
It looks very similar. That's the BlackBerry Playbook.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I know it's been in the drawer.
Why would? Yeah,
months.
nobody wanted to borrow that. I don't know why.
This was announced.
Okay.
Everyone said it's exactly the same size as the BlackBerry Playbook, but it's actually not. It's wants to get this out of the way real quickly.
Yeah, let's.
It's actually smaller than the BlackBerry Playbook.
So there's the Playbook. I don't know where our second cam is.
But it's actually not only are the length and width dimensions smaller, but it's also not as thick. It's a little more curved. So if you've ever held a BlackBerry Playbook, it's actually a little more comfortable to hold.
It's a much friendlier one-handed device. So I took it home last night. Basically spent 7 or 8 hours last night working with the Playbook, with the Fire rather.
Yep.
I read some books. I watched some movies. I played some music. Did all the normal kind of things you do with a media consumption tablet. 'Cause that's what this is.
But you first and foremost, you treat it more like a Kindle than you did like an iPad.
Yeah, I think it's. Here's the iPad 2. It's $500. It's
to start.
It's to start. Yeah, it's the same basic device. It's the same idea. But I don't think it's fair to compare something that costs $200 with something that costs $500.
Sure.
Just on general principle.
Yeah. People are going to make the comparison anyway.
They are.
Because people are making purchasing decisions.
I'm going to go ahead and say right up front, it's no iPad 2, this thing.
It's no.
It is a far cry.
Is it 4/5 or 2/5 an iPad 2?
Is this one, would 2.5 of these be an iPad 2? I don't think so.
Oh.
So let's talk about the book reading, the movie stuff first. The book reading is okay.
All right. So this is the main interface.
Yeah. So this is the main interface. This is basically you have a carousel tray, and this is the most recently used stuff. So you can see, I have the Amazon app, which is where you can go buy stuff from Amazon.
So as you mentioned earlier, it is running Android, a heavily modified version of Android 2.3.
Of Gingerbread, yeah.
Yes. It does not look like any Android I've seen.
No, it's a custom. We bitch about custom UIs for Android on Tested a lot. This is the most custom of custom UIs. It kind of works in this case because it's not email device. There's no Google apps on this. There's no Gmail app. There's no Google browser.
Who has an Android phone running Android 2.3 picking this up, they wouldn't know that it was running Android.
Well, that's an important point because if you bought a bunch of apps in the Android market, the Google one, they're not going to be on here, and there's no way to get them on here. You can sideload some stuff, but you can't actually sideload the Google Marketplace on. I did try that last night. It just doesn't work.
Instead, it's Amazon's own app market, which they launched a long time ago, and they have free app of the days.
Right.
So for someone who's been looking forward to the Kindle, download those free apps, and you'll have them all here.
Exactly. They do have a bunch of PopCap games, so if you want to play some Plants vs. Zombies or some Peggle, you can do that.
So let's go back to the interface.
Okay, so back to the interface.
How do you turn it on, first of all?
So the first thing to mention is there's a button on the bottom. It's this little. There's 2 holes. This one is the headphone jack. This is a button. This is a mini micro USB.
Now, that's consistent with Amazon's previous Kindle design.
The Kindles always have power buttons on the bottom, right?
When I first picked it up, I assumed it was like a tablet, and I assumed the button was on the top.
Or on the side, or someplace you'd be. There's no home button. There's no fascia buttons at all.
It's just a sleep button.
You swipe to unlock.
And it's swiping from right to left.
I'm
so confused. Right to left?
You feel dirty?
Is it swiping
I like the circle.
Left to right?
I'm down with the circle.
Okay.
So the top thing is the stuff that you use most frequently.
Yeah, and actually the responsiveness of this carousel is pretty good.
Yes.
It's pretty smooth, at least for the main front homepage.
I've done something here. I don't know exactly what it is. And then these bottom ones seem to be favorite apps. I haven't figured out how to get new stuff into here yet.
These are the defaults?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's jump into the book first, because it's a Kindle. It's for reading books.
And on top corner, it does say it's your 4th Kindle. So, when you opened it, it had all your information on it already.
I don't think it actually did, but I think they knew when it connected to Wi-Fi. So the opening procedure was real good.
Yeah.
You turn it on, you connect it to Wi-Fi, it matches the serial number on the box, in the box with your account online, and then is when it knew that it was my 4th Kindle. It tried to download a system software update immediately. Yeah. That took longer than it liked, so it said, hey, do you want to skip this? You can come back and do it later. It's no big deal, which I thought was pretty good.
But now you do have the system software.
This is the current software. So yeah, let's jump into the book. The book. Right. If you've used a Kindle, the book buying experience and the book using experience is
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I felt a little weird reading the Steve Jobs book on the Kindle Fire. First off,
spoilers.
Well, first off, it takes a while to load the books, which is unusual if you're used to using on the Kindle.
When you say load, you mean not download, but it's already stored in its 8 megabytes or 8 gigs of flash storage.
I mean, literally from the time you click the icon, it takes a couple of seconds.
Compared to the Kindle
normal
app.
Kindle, the Kindle app on your iPhone or iPad, the Kindle app on every other platform I've used. So that's weird. The other thing that I immediately noticed is that page turning is a little awkward. It has a normal 2 touch zones, so one on the right and left for forward and back, respectively. But I tend to use like a finger swipe to turn the pages because with a device like this, it's easy to hold one-handed.
Yeah.
So
you can grip it.
Yeah.
With one hand.
Well, you can just rest it in the corner of your hand.
No
and I want to do kind of these numbers. The thing I found is it doesn't do. Not any gesture will work. So you have to be real specific. It has to be a straight horizontal line in order for it to turn pages. If you do kind of a diagonal thing, it gets stuck and it won't turn the page and then flops back. Okay. It's a little bit frustrating, and it's not. Amazon's typically done pretty well with this, and they haven't with this so far.
So you're saying on their Kindle Fire, Amazon's own Kindle Fire, where would you rank the book reading experience compared to all the other Kindle?
So I haven't used the Kindle Touch yet. Okay. We're getting that today, supposedly.
Yeah. Your favorite is still...
My favorite's still the e-ink Kindle.
The e-ink.
I mean, I think I've only, like I said, I spent about 6 hours reading last night. I'm not feeling too good, so I went home, got in bed,
Skyrim.
had some. Well, I did that later.
Okay.
I had some chicken soup, and I sat down to read a book, and it was okay. The page turns a little slow. One other thing I immediately noticed, and this is important when you're dealing with transmissive devices like an LCD screen, is you can't actually turn the brightness very far down. So, when you're laying in bed late at night, your wife's there, you don't want to have the white hot light of 1,000 burning suns blasting you in the face.
Yeah.
This is the minimum brightness, which looks very dim here in the studio. Compared to the iPad, iPhone, most Android phones that I've tested, it's still really bright.
And on the iPad, you do turn it all the way brightness down. Now, can you invert?
Yeah. So there are all the normal stuff applies.
Okay.
This is one of the other things that I think is a little bit confusing and weird about this UI. At the top, you have system drop down, all that stuff. You can play music. You can control volume. That's pretty normal. On the bottom, you have the text pop-ups where you can control fonts.
Yep.
The font that you use, the size of the text, how big the margins are. I do actually quite like that. I think that was really good. And then the color, you can invert it so it's black on white. I think black on white makes a ton of sense for OLED displays, not so much for LCD displays, because then you just are really focusing on LCD bleed through.
Now, just to mention, it is a IPS.
It's a really nice LCD.
Yes.
I mean, it's about a 7-inch LCD. They did a fantastic job with it. It is a really
1024 by 600.
Like viewing angles are
like
really impressive. It looks as good as the iPad screen. I think that's fair to say.
So book reading,
it's okay.
Only okay.
I mean, I think I would rate this somewhere below the iPad app. The one thing it does have is it has the X-ray features where it pulls down Wikipedia entries and stuff like and dictionary stuff about common things in each book.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. The iPad app doesn't have that yet. But for actually just reading prose, I prefer the iPad.
And
Kindle
of course,
e-ink is my favorite.
I'll have a Whisper Sync, so you can, wherever you stop reading, will...
Well, it has Whisper Sync, but it doesn't have 3G. So this requires a Wi-Fi connection in order to download stuff. It doesn't have WhisperNet, which is Amazon's Sprint, I think, based at this point, 3G network.
That's book reading.
So that's book reading. To get back to the home screen, there's no home button on the fascia of the device. You literally have to tap the screen.
You said fascia.
I did say. Did I say it
Fancy
wrong?
word.
Oh, okay. You have to tap the home button. The home button is actually a little bit annoying. Frequently, if you're in places where you're using using text to enter with the keyboard, you can't get the home button back until you make the keyboard go away. So
let's give an example of that.
So, for example, here we are. There's no home button now.
Yeah.
I have to know to click that. This is a bad example because we're on the home screen, but it's not immediately obvious how to get back to this screen. So I did feel lost a couple of times while using this, which is
typically it is always
weird.
On the bottom left-hand corner.
It's always in the same place.
Okay.
The trick is figuring out how to get that little thing to pop up from the bottom. Okay, so other stuff I did some video watching.
Okay. So we're going through Amazon services basically now. So it has Amazon, if you have Prime, has Amazon Instant Streaming. Plus, you can also rent if you don't have Prime.
Or buy.
Yeah. So let's try that experience.
So this is Red Planet. It's a really bad movie. It's a part of the Prime free movies.
Okay.
I watched a little bit of this last night.
So if you have Prime, I don't like watching Amazon Instant streaming videos on my computer. I think the interface is crap. And
it's not very good.
It's not very good. And it wasn't very good on the BlackBerry Playbook either with Flash. How is it on here? So
it's a little bit better. It's still a web-based thing. It loads about the same speed as you'd expect from Netflix or something like that. I did notice a fair amount of stuttering and hitching, especially after resuming playback. It was fine once you got rolling, but I don't know if it'll happen here. It could have been a connection problem at my house. It's impossible to say with certainty because I don't have 3 connections at the house.
Yeah, when I was trying out yesterday, basically you can't scrub. There is a 10-second jump back button.
You can go back, but you can't scrub, and I don't think you can even drag it and push forward to a further place in time.
Well, you can push forward. It just needs to reload.
It's taking a while to load.
This is taking a while.
Yeah, it's a little slow. There's a bunch of fingerprints on it here, which we've collected. So here's the movie. One thing that's worth mentioning is it's not particularly loud. It has 2 speakers on the bottom, but it is at maximum volume. It's about the same loudness as an iPad 2 at half volume.
Yeah. It's not too distorted, but it's not going to be great quality either. You're not going to want to use speakers. Use headphones.
Yeah, definitely use headphones.
So let's look at. I mean, we can pause it and we can show off the interface. So you can jump back 10 seconds.
Yes.
And then if I want to scrub.
You can do that, but then it has to reload.
The end of Red Planet for everyone.
It's the robot. It's the robot, Norm. The robot is the bad guy in Spirits. Wait, no, that was John Carpenter's Spirits of Mars.
Still loading.
Yeah, it's. I can't see myself watching a ton of video using this thing.
Now the selection has been improved before.
The selection's good.
The Kindle Fire was released. The Amazon instant viewing, instant streaming stuff. They have
Netflix has a huge head start, but there's a lot of good content on there. It's like the value proposition there is good.
Can I see the browsing?
Yeah, of course.
The video browsing.
Video browsing?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
we'll get to browsing.
Browsing. Yeah, that's going to be controversial. So here's the library, the online library. It separates into stuff that's free, which is up here, things that you have to pay for, and TV shows, which you do have to pay for as well.
How's the interface here?
It's the same side-scrolling carousel, almost cover flow-esque. It works reasonably well. I'm not unhappy with this. I think this is a good experience. The one thing that I did find is it's easy to get lost in here.
So as you said that, I loaded up. That was gratuitous.
that was a little bit too much. So for example, if I go back to my library and then go back to the store, it's not going to come back to where you were.
Right.
It's easy in this case, but if you'd spent a couple minutes searching for a particular movie or TV show, then you could end up. It's a little frustrating.
Well, to be fair, Netflix's app isn't that great on like the iPad.
It's bad. You have the same exact problem. Yeah. But I would expect Amazon is pretty good about putting shopping experiences in front of people, and they haven't. It's not as polished as I would expect. The back button sometimes takes you back to the previous app. Yeah. Sometimes takes it to the previous page in the screen. So
sounds like Android.
It's inconsistent in a pretty frustrating way.
Okay. Speaking of shopping experiences.
Yeah.
So how about shopping on Amazon? I assume this is just a portal for you to buy stuff.
You can buy anything on Amazon that you would like right here. Look, if I'd like to buy a TV, the deal of the day is this. When you're in the individual stores, whether for music or movies or books, then it gives you the daily deals on the page, which is pretty good.
3 different iOS Amazon apps. Like you have the regular store.
4, I think.
Like the barcode scanner. There's the weird like augmented reality one.
Yeah.
This is
Flow.
Then
this is just window panes, window shades.
So window shopping. This is just the store.
This is just that. It looks at the stuff I know. It knows that I just bought a bunch of turkey fryers. It knows that I like Dominion and board games, so it's giving me that stuff there. It works just like Amazon. Okay, next thing, docs. The docs interface is literally, oh, look, everybody can see. Don't look, I'm going to put my finger over that. You can email docs to my Kindle.
I'm going to close that. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah, that's good. It works the same way as a normal e-ink Kindle does, where you literally send an email with a document you want to attach. It converts it to an appropriate format. It works with PDFs and stuff like that.
So the reading experience is pretty much the same as on parity with.
It's the same viewer as the book viewer, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what other apps does it come with?
So hold on. Let's talk about music.
Okay.
If you have bought into Amazon's Cloud Player, it'll have all of your Cloud Player
music. Which I think
here.
a lot of people. I mean, we
free.
recommend that.
Yeah, it's a good service.
I think it's still better than iTunes. You can download MP3. It's DRM free, and you have the locker.
Exactly. And so here's all the music I bought from iTunes from Amazon over the last few years, as well as stuff I've uploaded to Cloud Player. And you can stream directly from here, which is pretty good. Again, the speakers aren't great, but it does what you need to do.
So is it streaming or is it download?
It'll do either. Okay. So you can plug it into USB, store files locally. You can also do Cloud Player and
but the Cloud Player itself, it's streaming.
It's not doing the thing that iTunes does, where it downloads it and then plays it.
Good.
It seems to be just streaming. Although, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the difference between those two things is irrelevant.
I want to listen on demand. I don't want to download. To
listen on demand, you have to download, Chan.
I guess so.
let's see. Anything else? Then apps.
So this is the Amazon App Store.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, this is just my app shelf. This is the stuff that comes with it. It has an email app that works with IMAP and POP3 clients.
It has an email app. Okay.
It does.
That's one step ahead of the playbook already.
It is better than the playbook on paper right now. You can download stuff from the Amazon App Store. You can browse that and see what's in there right now.
Now, most of these apps are apps that you'd find in the Android marketplace also. So they are mostly phone apps.
The important thing to note is if you bought the app on the Android marketplace, the Google one, it doesn't count.
Yes.
You have to buy it again here. So a little bit of a bummer, but there's a pretty good selection of apps. I did notice some high-profile stuff, like the official Twitter client for Android, is available in the Amazon App Store for like Galaxy S2 phones and a bunch of other devices, not for the Fire. Seems like a kind of big oversight.
So what do you use for Twitter?
I am using what used to be called Twitwa, I believe, and is now called Tweetcaster. It's fine. It's okay. It
does just look like a gingerbread app blown up.
It is a gingerbread app blown up.
Apps.
These are everything that's in here is a phone app blown up. Android does a better job of that than iOS.
And also includes Facebook and Pulse.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here that you're never going to use, and then a few things you will. You can download Words with Friends if you want, and a scoreboard.
So one of the things you mentioned earlier, Plants with Zombies.
Yes.
How is the performance on something
let's
like that?
fire it up and see.
We're not going to run that other game.
Which other game?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What other game?
The game that we don't talk about.
What game are you talking about?
The one with the
Is it the one
foul?
The one with the pigs?
No, yeah, that one.
I love the pigs.
Oh, I don't like the pigs.
Why do you not like the pigs? The pigs are the good guys.
The pigs are the heroes.
Yeah.
That's right.
The pigs are a oppressed minority, man. Poor pigs.
Plants vs. Zombies. Now, this is probably one of the better Android games.
I like this game a lot. I played a little bit and then reset it. It's going to do the whole thing here.
Okay.
I kind of wish I hadn't reset it now. Didn't think about this. Performance is fine. It's a little slower than I would expect, but it's definitely playable. I didn't get to the high levels because I didn't spend 30 hours on it.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there wouldn't be big performance problems.
Okay. So you can have an enjoyable Plants vs. Zombies experience. That's good enough for me.
It's a little, I mean, you can see, you might not be able to see it on the feed, but you can see it when you're looking at it. It looks a little scaled up. Hold on, let me get the angle here right. So yeah, it's definitely the phone version. It's not a tablet version. I'm going to pull up this bottom tray, which took a while to figure out, and go back to the home screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can do all the normal tablet stuff. For example, you pull this down, you can lock the orientation, it will rotate. You can adjust the brightness, I said already, Wi-Fi. The sync is all about going to Amazon and downloading new content.
You can change the orientation, so if I really wanted to have the power button be on the top.
I don't think you can do,
for the lock.
I don't think it works on the home screen. Oh yeah, no, wait, wait. Look at me, look back. Yeah, no, it works around.
And lock it?
It'll lock there.
Okay.
No.
Nope.
It's still, but now it unlocks the right way.
I guess
the future.
Yeah, solving problems.
Okay, so let's talk about the web browser, because this is up until this point we have a pretty decent.
I mean, for
content consumption
$199, great so far.
Pretty good. I know some people have expressed some real dislike for this form factor for web browsing. I actually don't think it's that bad.
You mean the 7-inch tablet?
The 7-inch tablet.
I love the 7-inch tablet.
I like the one-handed. I like one-handed.
Yeah, it's light. And also, we didn't talk about the weight. It's light.
14
ounces. Noticeably lighter than an iPad.
This is a one-hand device, that not so much. Partly it's a one-hand device because you can really get the whole thing in your hand. Partly because it's a little bit lighter. 2 or 3 ounces makes a big difference in this case.
So this is a web browser.
We're on Facebook for some reason. I'm going to go to tested.
Okay. We're on Wi-Fi, and we're with pretty good Wi-Fi, so let's watch it load and see how
this brings up a good point. The keyboard's kind of bad.
So the browser is called Silk, and Amazon says that they offload a bunch of the loading on their own servers, and so the browsing experience, at least loading, is supposed to be much faster. This is loading pretty slowly.
The first load is real bad. The subsequent loads are much faster. It's not, the problem is more frame rate. I mean, our page is a little bit heavy, especially our desktop page for a web browser.
Well, at least it recognizes the desktop page, and it's not the mobile page.
But you can see, and we're getting the flash, which we don't get on the iPad 2 for fairly obvious reasons.
Scrolling's not working?
That seems to be breaking the entire page, though. So this may not be the best example. Let's go to another page.
All right.
Let's go to CNN, something that millions of people go to every day.
Yeah, exactly.
So CNN loads reasonably fast. There's a few things that they could have done to make it a much better experience. For example, I'm going to go into a story here. I don't know what I'm going to. It takes willpower. We'll see what that is. For example, on the iPad iOS devices, when you double tap a column, it zooms in to just fill that column. On this, when you double tap a column, it seems like nothing happens. Wait, there we go.
Whoa.
But it's just
Look at that animation. Do that again. Zoom back out and zoom back in with the double tap.
see, it's just it's just poor performance.
Double tap again.
So it's like 5 frames from zoomed in to zoomed out.
How about just pinching?
Pinching is slow to the point of I couldn't hit the right width when I was viewing a bunch of. I spent some time browsing the web.
Yeah.
I couldn't hit the right width, so I would either be too wide or too narrow to fill the screen. And on this kind of device, you have to fill the text column on the screen, or it's basically unusable. Performance is slow on the browser in general. It is not something I could see using. Before I do the review, I'm going to load Dolphin, which you can sideload on the device. It's not in the Amazon App Store. I don't know if they're having server problems, because part of the story on this is that it does a lot of the rendering off on EC2 on Amazon's cloud services rather than on the device.
Just going to like my 5 favorite websites.
It was almost unusable. Yeah. So
this is why I would not buy the Kindle Fire.
Yeah, don't buy this if you're looking for a general purpose tablet. Buy this if you want something to watch movies, read books, and listen to music on. It seems to be my first initial impressions. Did we hit everything? Is that the whole?
Pretty much it. You want to show some other apps?
We can go into email. Let's see if I
Let's show all your emails. We've shown your phone number.
We've shown my phone number. Yeah. Let's.
Oh, and Netflix. We'll show Netflix. As well,
Netflix worked.
There isn't that app.
It was a little slow. I'm just gonna go right in here. It's probably all spam. Email's fine. The keyboard is the big thing preventing me from using this for email, I would say. I'm having trouble getting the angle right here. This actually works pretty well.
Let's demo that keyboard problem. So,
okay, so
bring up the keyboard.
I'm going to make a new email.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to Norm.
Okay.
I don't have my address book synced over here.
My email address is norman@test.com. I'm just going to put it out there.
People know. Except for I put testx because it doesn't.
But no, now you want to go back to the home screen. Well, go back to the home screen. Do it.
Wait, I can't. There's no way. There's no button.
Go home screen.
Wait, there we go.
You got to close the keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's set for my Kindle Fire. Let's look at Netflix real quick, and then we'll take some questions.
All right. Netflix app.
So this is your Netflix queue, not mine, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what you've been watching, Chan.
I let my dad borrow my Netflix.
That's theft, man. So he watched a lot of La Femme Nikita.
I guess so.
That's probably okay. Wow, hold on. Top 10 for Norman. These look like racy foreign movies, Norm. I don't want to say anything, but you might want to talk to your dad. Dollhouse. What is that? It sounds pornographic.
That's Joss Whedon.
Wild Wild West.
I watched that for the lulz.
Okay. So this works reasonably well. I'm going to bust out a Jackie Chan movie.
Why?
Because it was the first one I clicked. Are you related, by the way?
Not
so racist. Okay, so it loads reasonably
That was actually faster than Amazon.
Than the Amazon app, yeah. This is just, it seems like it's the normal Netflix app for Android. This is a Miramax one. This is classy. It's from classy people.
Okay. All right. And I did notice on the carousel, the web browser shortcut was being really, really janky.
Sometimes, sometimes there's a lot of stuff that's fairly janky here. I assume that they'll probably fix it at some point, but for example, sometimes the web browser saves a thumbnail of the page that you used last.
Yep.
Sometimes it's impossible to remove that thumbnail. So you don't want to use this for anything, racy.
And even if you close tabs,
you close the tab,
the thumbnail is still there.
Browse to another page.
Yeah.
When you come back to the home screen, the browser is still going to be there.
Don't do your Victoria's Secret shopping on Amazon Kindle.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. There's just a bunch of other. I took notes. I don't usually take notes on night one with a device, but I'm going to bust them open. The backlight thing, it's difficult to overstate how much of a problem that is. Because when you're laying in bed late at night, your wife's there beside you, you don't want to have a face burner, get a suntan from your tablet. Not being able to bring that down to a minimum dimness, kind of bad. Other stuff, the keyboard's just bad. The speakers don't sound great. The button, I don't understand why you put the button here.
And also, it's a really small button.
It's a hard to hit button.
I mean, it's bigger than the really tiny one on the playbook.
Yeah.
But
I ran the battery down entirely by about 9 o'clock last night, which is when I went to start playing Skyrim. Literally, we got it at 3 o'clock. I drove home, which took an hour. the battery was dead 7 hours later. I did not use it during that entire time. So
and it was a mix of reading.
It was a mix of reading, about 20 minutes of video
and
watching, and a little tiny bit of music playing. So it's not a 12-hour battery life device or 10-hour battery.
Sure
life
sounds
device.
like what you get for $199.
I mean, for $199, there's nothing else at that price right now.
Yeah,
We have the Nook tablet coming later this week, hopefully, so we'll know a little bit more how it stacks up compared to that then. But don't expect an iPad killer.
And also, side loading does change things a little bit. So we would experiment with that, test that for a bit, and that could change the entire experience.
Dolphin on this device could change the entire thing and make it a much more compelling experience. Do you want to take some? So we're going to wrap this up, and then we'll stay around for a minute and take some questions from the audience. So if you guys are in chat, want to send some questions to I think the questions account, then we'll answer those. But for now, I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
See you guys next time.
Bye.